Hey, Matt here, founder of Big Lead Clean. We do over $1 million a year in commercial cleaning revenue. And one of the most underrated systems we run is the one that gets us paid. So it doesn't just get us paid on time, and it's something that is definitely not what QuickBooks can do. So keep watching. If you think QuickBooks can do all the automated outreach, there's different stuff here going on that I'll show you guys. So it's hands-free. It's smart enough to stop chasing a client the second they paid. Most cleaning companies have automations that keep emailing past due notices to clients who have already paid, and it's not automation. That's just embarrassment. Today I'm going to show you the version that doesn't do that and does a lot more. So let's get into it. So here's the situation. You finish the job, right? You send the invoice, but then what? Most owners I know, they either forget about it for 30 days or they assign someone to manually chase clients twice a week. Now, both are bad. Both are bad. Forgetting costs a lot of things, but mainly it costs you cash flow. Manual chasing will cost you hours of payroll, and it looks unprofessional in general. So we built this system that handles the entire invoice lifecycle. The second a job is marked complete, the invoice goes out. If they don't pay in 7 days, the system asks Stripe directly, did this client pay yet? If yes, this system sends a thank you and gracefully ends. If no, it sends a friendly reminder. So it waits another 7 days, asks Stripe again, same logic, right? And if they're not still paid by day 14, the system sends a final notice and alerts me personally with a dollar amount so I know exactly which client to call. Now, the problem here, most cleaning companies have one of two invoice systems. One, nothing. Send the invoice and pray. The owner ends up running, an aging report at the end of the month and then spending hours chasing money. Option two, an automation that's not the smartest, that sends timed reminder emails day 7, day 14, day 30. Now, the problem with option number two, the system doesn't know if the client already paid. So a client can pay you on day 5 and on day 7, they get a where's my money email, right? It makes you look broken. Or, right, on QuickBooks, let's say, or something else, let's say that is working and it goes through. Now, you might be asking, okay, well, why can't I just do that in QuickBooks, what you're about to say? And I get this question every time. So yes, QuickBooks can technically send recurring invoices and basic payment reminders, but so can Xero, FreshBooks, Wave, etc. Here's where every single one of them falls flat compared to what you're about to see and why I built this instead of just clicking auto remind in QuickBooks. One, QuickBooks doesn't trigger from your operations. It waits for you to manually create the invoice, or automatically create it on a certain day and time, right? This system fires the second a job is marked complete in your CRM, job, or go high level, whatever it is, right? Zero human touches between job done and invoice sent. Number two, QuickBooks doesn't send a thank you when someone pays early. It just marks the invoice paid and moves on. So to me, that's a relationship moment you're leaving on the table. This system sees the payment, kills the reminder sequence, of course, and then sends a personal thank you email instead. And clients notice that, in my opinion, especially ones who paid you really early, fast, right, in 4 days. That deserves recognition. 3, QuickBooks doesn't ping you when something needs a phone call. It sends reminders to the clients, and that's where it ends, right? So this system sends you a personal alert at day 14 with the client name and the dollar amount so you know exactly who to call. QuickBooks never tells you, drop everything, call this person, but this does. And it doesn't have to be day 14, right? You can adjust the days. It could be day 30, day 45 if you want, but, we like to be as quick as possible. Number 4, QuickBooks lives in a silo, so it doesn't talk to anything else, and this workflow can branch into whatever you want next. So what you can do is you can ping your account manager on Slack, update a Notion database, trigger a follow-up offer, right? The client in your CRM could be a slow player, a slow payer, and it's better to just have control. And QuickBooks can't do any of this. So number 5 is QuickBooks Online Plus is $90 a month, right? Just for the basic features. And this costs zero. You own this workflow forever. You can clone it, modify it, share it. That's why I'm so big on automations. Once you build it yourself in-house, you can go from there with your own control. And the last one is you can't customize the logic. So QuickBooks reminders are template-based. You want a friendly reminder for a client who paid late once versus an aggressive, collections for a client who paid 3 times late in a row. Can't do it. It's kind of the same format. You want to attach a Loom video walkthrough to the day 14 reminder. Well, you can't do that. The workflow does whatever you want it to do here, and that's a difference for me that I really like. The bottom line is QuickBooks can do about 60% of what you're about to see. It charges you $90 a month for that 60%. And then the second you want to grow your invoicing logic past what they offer in the dropdown, you are stuck. So to me, it's a win-win where this system costs you zero, does everything QuickBooks does, and does the 4 things QuickBooks won't do. And that's why I built it originally for us to make our lives easier. That's why I'm sharing it with you guys. So this system, as you can see here, it's about a dozen nodes, 2 payment check cycles. And I'm not going to walk you through every config, but if you want the actual template, drop into my Skool community and you'll get it for free. Drag and drop into your N8N profile, into your profile, and then it will be set up and ready for you to use. So starts here on the left side, completed. It's a webhook, right? And as I mentioned before, like a webhook is just a trigger based on data being collected in some sense. So when you mark a job done in your CRM, your scheduling tool, or whatever it is, it fires the webhook with the client info, the invoice number, the amount, and a Stripe invoice. Now, a little hack that you can do is you can also look to set an invoice at an automatic date in the beginning of the month before the work is performed. So if you do the work on the work's going to be done on the 15th, you can have the invoice sent out on the 1st, right? So if they completed 15-day net, you are still getting paid earlier on than you would have if the work was completed after 30 days. Then you invoice 15 days later, net 45 versus a net, let's call it 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, whatever it is. That is something that also could be very beneficial for a service business owner. So after that webhook happens, right, the job's completed, let's say, what happens then is that data is formatted into an invoice. And the system formats it all, logs it to our outstanding invoices tab in Google Sheets, which for this example, I'm using as a lightweight CRM. Essentially, you can use your Go High Level, your HubSpot, whatever you're using, you can have the data connected to that platform. Then it sends the invoice to the client, right? So it's a clean, small payment link inside, whatever the terms are, and then out the door in seconds, no human touches it. Work's done, invoice created, sent to the client with the link. There you go. Easy as that. This is what it looks like right here. Okay, this is an example of it. This is not real, but this is what it would look like. Automatic. Okay. You can adjust the template however you want. And that's going to be right here. So now's the smart part. So the system waits 7 days. Then before it does anything, it makes a HTTP call directly to the Stripe API and asks, hey, has this been paid? Right? It's right here. Then the brain kicks in and the system asks one question: did Stripe pay? If yes, goes one path. If no, a different path. And the whole automation basically lives and dies on this decision. So if the system sees that they paid, it does not send a reminder. It sends a thank you email and the workflow ends. And again, I like the thank you email touch. I think it's nice, especially if clients are paying early. I think they should be recognized for that. Sometimes you can even look to give discounts on saying, hey, if you pay X amount of days early, we'll provide, a 1%, 2%, whatever it is, discount to the total invoice to thank you for that, and also assist in your own cash flow to make things nicer for your business, and then give them a little, a discount for thanking them for being polite in business, right? So 2 paths, right? It can go down. One is a thank you. The other one, it's going to go to, waiting another 7 days, a friendly reminder sent after the first 7 days, wait more seven more days, checks it again. Then there's paid after 14 days. It's either a thank you or it's going into final notice. And of course, you can say 14 days, super aggressive, whatever you think. But if you want to adjust it, you can do, a 7-day, 30-day, 45-day. I know clients kind of, it can differ between clients. So that can have effect here too. But this is just for what we use, which is a 14-day standard for us in our business. You can adjust it. So that's where, in the second piece, really, you don't see that mostly in automations, where the final notice goes to the client and then a separate alert goes to me personally with the client name and the dollar amount, right? And I see that. I know who to call. The automation is going to handle the boring follow-up. I handle the relationship, and I like that piece. So rather than having a robot doing all the talking, like I can call them up and chat about it, and everything is organized in the system. So that is the whole system: trigger, send, wait, check, Stripe, branch, repeat. That is basically how it works, and it's helped us, not lose money, and it's helped us really manage cash flow well. I can recommend it for any service business, specifically commercial cleaning businesses, and that is the Invoice Autopilot automation.